I said, imagine his cousin waking up in prison. He's waking up, it's like a normal day, going down to the chow line, getting some eggs. Everyone looking at me, huh?
Ain't you Kanye's cousin?
Because he's probably been bragging about being Kanye's cousin for years.
Nah, I wasn't talking. Nah, I'm not that cousin.
Oh no, you're that
another cousin. Like that's the crazy. Everybody trying.
All his cousins are probably getting it right now.
Everybody trying to go down the family tree. That's what I'm saying.
You had a bad few weeks.
All the cousins pointing at each other like the Spider-Man meme. Like it was you, wasn't it? It was you. Nah, it was you. Like that shit is wild.
Spider-Man meme.
Kanye is another one who he saddens me.
Yeah.
Like I just. Do you realize that if Kanye West hadn't become who Kanye is now, he is by far, without question, the most influential, biggest, not even just hip-hop artist, by far hip-hop artist, but one of the most biggest and influential artists of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I'm talking about Michael Jackson levels.
I agree.
Like, if he hadn't have went down the path he ended up going down, it's not even close. Kanye West had people walking around in Yeezys the way people were wearing Jordans. I saw Angel Reese recently post her sneaker, and she said, I want people to wear my Angel Reese's the way people were wearing Jordans. Yeah, but Kanye really had people doing that.
100%. Yeah.
Like,
the
really
Yeezy jumped
people...
over the jump man. He had a point. I had a lot of Yeezys, but these days, no one gives a shit about Yeezys anymore, honestly. But in fact, like for example, like there's a store called The Real Real, which you could sell like designer clothes to. And I remember I brought a whole batch of shit that I just no longer wear with some Yeezys, right? And then I went back again with some other Yeezys, and they're like, no, we don't take that anymore. Vlad, it's just a shoe that's just completely dead at this point. And not completely dead, but pretty dead.
And that goes back, to
when it was the hottest shit ever.
That goes back to the conversations we've been having about Diddy or Shannon Sharp or any of these people, Harvey Weinstein, whoever they are. It is very important for your plane to land with the wheels out. It doesn't matter to have all of this success for all of these years and be flying high and just crash and burn. I don't never want to get to the point where I'm so high where I just stop dealing with reality and feel like I'm untouchable and, I can get away with anything. And you got a bunch of people around you, a bunch of yes people that are just, feeding whatever vice it is that you have. Like there's no reason for Kanye to be in the situation that he's currently in. And listen, by the way, maybe he's happy. I don't know. Maybe he's happy. I'm just simply saying.
Well, look, for example, I know some people that, handle some of his bookings and, people think I'm hating when I'm saying this, but this is an actual real conversation. Kanye can only get booked in these sort of kind of like remote countries now. Like he can't do tours in Europe anymore. He's not even allowed in Australia because of the Hail Hitler song. You don't see him doing shows in America anymore. He's doing Korea, Hong Kong. Like, he's definitely limited because of his choices. Now, you could say, well, he's still rich, and I'm sure he stands on that, but Kanye cannot do a world tour anymore.
And that's not...
He will not get booked. And he will not... It's an impossibility at this very moment.
And Vlad, that's not freedom. If Kanye's whole sole purpose, right, according to him...
To be an entertainer.
Was freedom. Yeah. Like he wanted to be free. He didn't want to be controlled, None of that is freedom.
Yeah.
So what?
He can't enter. Like his wife is Australian. He can't go visit her family. The Australian government said, we have enough racism in this country. We don't have to import anymore.
He actually put himself in more boxes and put himself, behind more bars with his antics than he did prior. You did all of that, fighting to, you said you wanted to be free, only to imprison yourself more. And listen, social media runs with all types of narratives as to why he did what he did. I want to hear that from him. I want to hear him tell us how he feels about the things that he's done. Because he goes on these tangents where he'll put out these apologies and say he's sorry.
Then he'll go back and do a Hail Hitler song.
Exactly. So it's just like
he apologized to Jews, I think in Hebrew. Then did a Hail Hitler song not too long after that.
And that's always my thing with things. I want to know the intention and I want to know the purpose. Like when you ask me about, him sucking his cousin's dick, well, what was he trying to teach with that moment? And it's the same thing with this. I may not agree with the things that you say, but I agree with your right to say them because I believe in free speech. But what are you trying to get at? What is the teachable moment in any of this? What is
I
the
think
larger point of why you chose to do these things that you did? Why'd you wake up one morning and say, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people? For what? What was the reason?
I think it's almost like performance art. It's like when you look at, I remember I had this interview with Nipsey that someone sent me.
Rest in peace, Nip.
Yeah, rest in peace. And he said something interesting. He said, when you look at all the greatest songs, they have one thing in common, and that's truth and honesty. Every great song, there's something about that song that you're like, oh, wow, there's a vulnerability, there's a truth behind what's happening here. And Kanye's learned over time by putting his own life into this music that he gets this great result. So look, he had a problem with certain Jewish people. Right? I remember me and academics talked about this, where it was like, he was like, yeah, this person, that caused these problems, he was Jewish, and this person was Jewish that caused these problems. So he did have a problem with certain Jewish people. So he's like, well, maybe this means that all Jewish people are like that. So I'm just going to like blurt it all out and see what happens, because usually when this happens, there's a bad result. But I'm just bigger than, I'm whatever. Maybe I'll get this legion of people that'll go behind me and follow me. And to a certain degree, he did. Once he did that, there were like signs around Calabasas. Kanye was right, and they had to get extra security at his kid's school and everything else like that. Yeah, anti-Semitism has been around forever. He fueled the flames of that.
He did get anti-Semitism popping.
Yeah.
He did.
He did. He got anti-Semitism popping.
He did.
And of course
he helped.
Yeah, and of course the whole war with Israel and Gaza.
Oh man, terrible time.
Didn't hurt that whole narrative and so forth, and so forth. But at the end of the day, I feel like for him, it's like his life is the art. It's not like he goes to a studio to make art and then goes back to his regular life. The fact that he parades his wife around naked, like it's all art. 24/7.
I just don't respect self-serving people, because when you are, generating the kind of money he was generating, he was doing something that I love to do, which is create jobs and provide opportunity. And when you are self-serving, and you allow your ego to cause you to crash and burn, and you ruin opportunities for other people, and you ruin paychecks for other people, that's hard for me to respect. That you're not a real leader, you're not a real general, you're not a real boss if all you think about is you. Because before you make those kind of statements, before you make those kind of comments, you know what's going to come with it, but you also know that it's not just going to be you that's impacted by that.
Yeah,
that's hard for me to respect.